Welcome everyone to Cyberman Podcast. My name is Antonio. We have another spotlight conversation here for you today. Bring back all the friends of the show. He is a very dynamic individual. I tell you, man, if talent was a snowflake, this man would be a blizzard. He does a lot of things, and I want to bring up another thing and talk about some of the other stuff you guys are going on today. All right, so let's bring to the stage my man Jef Payne. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on today.
All right, man. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you jumping on with me, man. I wanted to have a conversation with you, talk about one of the passions that we both share, which is fitness. Okay. We also have the commonality of being a little bit older in this fitness game. And there's a whole thing around understanding that as you grow and mature, your body doesn't do what it did in the 20s now that you're into your 40s. You see what I'm saying? So I want to talk with you, man, and give you a chance to give us some insight from your training, from your understanding, your wisdom, and kind of have a conversation. All right?
All right.
Cool, cool. So, real quick, man, give me an intro. Tell me about what you got going on. What is Get in Motion?
Get in Motion is an exercise platform or a fitness platform geared towards busy adults. A lot of
Hmm.
times you have adults who have families and jobs and responsibilities and limited time to get into the gym. And so I try to meet people where they are basically and teach them workout routines they can do either at home or if they ever do go to the gym, I can give them a structured workout plan that they can do to address things from their cardio and stretching and lifting and things like that. So I'll script everything out for them and that way they can apply that when they have time. Also encourage them to schedule meeting times with me where I can check in with them, whether it's,
Hmm.
once a week, twice a week, every other week, whatever
Sure.
works with their schedule. But we just basically want to get people moving and it's very important.
Gotcha, man. Now, give me a minute, man. Show me the logo, man. Let me see you. Let me see the gear. There it is.
This is
Put a shirt
the,
up and see. There it is.
there it
I like it, man. Get in
is.
motion. My man. My
Yes,
man. I like
sir.
the branding, man. Really good. Really good. So I got a couple questions I kind of developed, man. As you know, we are a Christian men's based podcast. And I want to center this around men and how we're supposed to use our fitness to be able to do the things God called us to do, man. So I got a couple questions. I'm going to read them off to you, and then I want to get your response, man, and we're going to have a good combo, okay?
Let's
All
go.
right, so first question. God calls men to carry heavy responsibilities. How does physical fitness help a man fulfill his calling?
Well, it's important that we take care of this temple of the Holy Spirit, and we want to
Hmm.
make sure that it's fit and it's well taken care of. Everything from our nutrition to making sure that we're able to perform those duties.
Yeah.
We've got families we're called to protect and provide, and
Hmm.
in order to do those things, you have to be at some level of physical fitness and wellness. And
True.
so it's important for us to get up and move, to stretch, to lift, and to prepare our bodies to uphold those responsibilities.
Gotcha, man. That's a good answer, man. Let's take it this way. What are some warning signs that men over 40 should never ignore? I know sometimes we're always wanting to show we're tough enough to take care of whatever's going on, and we are most times. You see what I'm saying? But there are some times where things happen. It's better not to ignore those things. What would you say, from your standpoint, should be some indicators we should be watching for as we get older that we should be preparing for so we do better in life?
I'd say listen to your body. Sometimes we'll have unexplained aches or pains, and if they prolong over the course of more than 2 or 3 days, over the course of a week,
Right.
and things aren't easing up, we've got to get over this thing about going to see the doctor. I
Right.
know with men, and have to acknowledge it with Black men. We don't like going to the doctor, and we
Mhm.
don't want people poking and prodding and things like that, but it's for our good. And
I
heck,
agree.
even I struggle with that stigma about going to the doctor. If it ain't broke,
Mhm.
don't fix it. However, there may be some things going on that we may not be aware of. So it's good to schedule regular checkups and
Agreed.
not be afraid of getting information that's going to help us prolong our lives. And one of the mottos for Get in Motion is we want to look good, feel good, live long, and be strong. And
I
the
like it.
best way to do that is to make sure that we're listening to our bodies. Even I wake up with a mystery ache and pain in my
Hmm.
knee or, my elbow. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't hit my elbow. I didn't jam it or anything like that. But,
Yeah.
I'm 6 years old. And even though I
I'm
wake
sorry.
up and
How old is that again?
I'm 56.
Oh, look at it, man. Look good, man. I'm sorry. Please keep going. Keep going.
Meant to God be the glory, and so I'm just trying to take care of myself because I don't want to be a liability too soon in my life. I know
Hmm.
that this body's not going to last forever, but if
Sure.
there's anything that I can do to prevent things from going on, that aren't, that are preventable, I want to do that
Yeah.
by way of checking my diet and making sure that I'm regularly stretching, drinking water, going to the gym, walking, lifting, and we'll definitely get into some specifics, but definitely listen to your body.
I love it, man. I love it. And I think that's something, again, we as men, we can't ignore these signs because, again, something could be going on that if dealt with earlier on, we could deal with it and get by it and it's not a problem. But if it goes on and just is ignored, it could be problematic for us in the future, man. So I definitely agree with you, man. Good point, putting that there. Let's go to my second question over here. Many men think pain is just part of getting older. What's the difference between aging and neglect? Talk to me about that.
Ooh. Well, as we get older, we're going to be more susceptible to certain pains and aches, and especially if we don't move, or
Mm.
if we do, in fact, get a small injury, we may not heal up as fast. And definitely want to be
That's facts.
mindful of the recovery period for injuries and sprains and soreness and things like that. And so again, visiting the doctor and getting some insight on when is it okay to use aspirin, when is it okay to use different supplements to offset some of those things. But again, if you have prolonged pain, things that are limiting your flexibility, your mobility, you definitely want to get that checked out. So aging does impact us, as much as I even hate to deny it,
Hmm.
or I hate to admit it. Actually, I can't deny that, even though I'm 56 and I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life,
Sure.
there's some things that I'm mindful that I don't do. I don't voluntarily jump over fences. I don't voluntarily rock climb, you
Respect.
know,
Respect.
just be more careful about and more selective about some of the activities we do too.
Understood. Understood. I'm actually recently still battling back from a it wasn't an injury. It was a surgery that had to happen just because I had some bone spurring that was happening and it was having me some pain as I was walking. So had to get the surgery done. 6 weeks in the boot, and I mean, you know me, man. I've been pretty athletic most of my life. You know what I'm saying? All the athletic ability gone out of my left leg. And I tell you, after years of being super athletic, gone from 6 weeks of inactivity, you know what I'm saying, or limited mobility with being in a boot. And I've been going to physical therapy trying to battle and get that back. And it's slowly coming back. So praise God for that one. But one thing I have seen from my own standpoint is that if you don't move it, you will lose it at the end of the day. And with us being older and having jobs and responsibilities, we don't move as much as we used to when we were younger. This is a great effect on our bodies from that. What are your thoughts on that?
I tell you, with growing up and having responsibilities, having a work schedule, having family, and things like that, you may not be able to get to the gym 2 and 3 hours of the day,
Sure.
for that. And so the lifestyle changes definitely impact your physicality and your mobility and things like that. But I tell you, it's so important to just make time, to
Hmm.
move every day. I don't care if it's 10 minutes.
Sure.
Start there, set some achievable goals.
Hmm.
You may not be able to get to the gym and spend 2 and 3 hours there, but if I can get up every morning and stretch, and to reach down and touch my toes, that's a
Yeah.
victory.
Sure.
Stand with your feet over, shoulder width apart, and just kind of reach down because there's a correlation between being able to touch your toes and heart health as well. You know,
Mm.
so it's really important to just do the little things. And my personal journey just started out with me getting out of the bed and doing 10 push-ups.
Yeah.
And I remember I was 48 years old when I started my journey. And if I got up and
Mhm.
I did like 10 push-ups, I felt like, hey, I worked out today, you know? And so I've come a long way from that, because then, you
Sure.
evolve from doing push-ups, then, hey, let's do some sit-ups,
Sure.
and so making time in your day to get in motion. And so that brand is a clarion call to anybody that finds themselves sitting still and becoming stagnant. And like you said, if you
Mhm.
don't move, you will lose it. I've got people my age, classmates, that
Yeah.
10 years older than me. And I look at, the kind of shape and the lifestyle, and,
Sure.
life happens to everybody.
Of course.
There's no,
Of course.
a lot of things happen, whether you have to take care of an elderly person in your house, or,
Mhm.
you have to work a double shift and things like that, or
Yeah.
there's absolutely no time. But I just encourage you to just do your best and to start with one thing, and that's just to get up and breathe, get up and stretch. And you can do that for free, and do that before the world wakes up.
Sure.
I
Sure.
tried sleeping in just today, and to be with my wife, and so we can chit chat, and it threw my whole morning off. you
Mhm.
know, and
Mhm.
we have to be disciplined, and that's something that we'll
Definitely.
definitely go into with our conversation as we go on today.
Okay. Sounds good, man. And I like that. Let's go on to the next question, man. Um, Men often put everyone else first. Their wife, their kids, career, ministry. We just talked about you sleeping in that day, just giving the wife some time, personal time. That's what we got to do as husbands. How can they care for their health without feeling selfish?
Wow. I think finding a time to have that self care. And that
Hmm.
self-care may not happen between the hours of 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. You almost kind of
Sure.
belong to the world. You belong to your family. You belong to your job and so forth.
Hmm.
And I was the most successful when I would set my clock for 5:15 every morning, 5:15 a.m. And I would
Hmm.
go to my basement, and I had a little area there where I actually invested in a treadmill. And so I would
Hmm.
get up and get a treadmill, and I would walk for about 5 minutes, and I would get off of that thing, and then I would stretch, do some calisthenics. I only had some 10-pound dumbbells, and so I would just do some
Hmm.
basic curls and whatever I could do with those dumbbells. And by 6 o'clock, I'd finish up, make myself some breakfast, get myself together. And by that time, the rest of the world's waking up. And I can say, well,
Sure.
hey, I got my workout in, and my wife would
Scratch it
wake up,
off.
give me a honey-do list right there. So the key thing is to,
I love you. Here you go.
exactly. Good morning, and here's your list for the day. But making sure that you do that before the world can get to you. So we
Hmm.
have to be just as insistent about taking care of ourselves as the world is about requiring us to be at point A and point B and doing these things for them.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's very important to do because again, at the end of the day, this is the vehicle we live life in. And if this vehicle is busted, if it's leaking oil per se, you know what I'm saying? You can't be the man you're supposed to be for your family, for the rest of the community and everything else that you're being called to because your health is going to slow you down. Your body will slow you down because you didn't do that regular maintenance and things like that. And just like a car, if you don't regularly maintenance it, you can't go on long trips out of the out states over and stuff like that, driving, putting that stress on it, and you haven't been caring for it on a natural time. So again, I think if we put in that time, we'll definitely get the benefit, but not only just us, everybody around us.
Absolutely.
Cool, cool. Okay, so you've worked with older clients. What are some of the biggest mistakes men over 40 make? Men like us.
Wow. I don't know if I've encountered like mistakes as far as the clients. I think the number one thing that the biggest mistake you could do is just not show up, not
Okay.
show up for yourself. And so the best thing you can do, conversely, is to show up. How do you show
Mhm.
up? Setting that alarm clock, getting up and stretching. If you
Yeah.
don't come see me, if you don't go and see Antonio, see somebody, get to the gym. My heart always smiles when I see people who look like they just got to the gym for the very first time. They may not be
Mhm.
in perfect shape. They may not have the fancy workout clothes.
Right,
They might
right.
have on a tank top and a trucker's cap, and they're just like, I don't know anything about this equipment, but I'm like, I'm glad you're here, and I
Sure,
compliment
sure.
people like, hey, good to see you here. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. But
Hmm.
get someplace and around other people who are making that effort. So I think the biggest mistake is isolating yourself and
Hmm.
not getting around people who are motivated, who could possibly help you with that start.
I think another thing to consider also is that for the people who were super athletic, right, and now they're not so much. If you can't do what you used to do, now I can't do anything. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Say, I've for my own personal self, I ran track, right? I ran cross country in college. I've done a lot of running. I am not running at the rate or speed now that I did back then. But if that kept me from moving because I couldn't run at that consistent level anymore, I would
Mhm.
lose the benefit of saying, well, since I can't do what I usually would do or what I know that works, I'm
Mhm.
not going to do anything. And
Right.
that's detrimental. I think there's so much that comes with just even just a plain walk, a walk for 15, 20 minutes. It does so much for the body that it's like even just that as a start can be the catalyst to you becoming back to your best self, even in their older ages.
Absolutely. I would contemplate, what am I going to do when I turn 60, 65, 70?
Hmm.
And I know I won't be able to lift as heavy as I'm lifting now, but I'm going to
Sure.
still try. I'm going to still, if I have to decrease the weight, if I have to decrease the number of reps, I'm not going to stop, and
Right.
having the information, knowing what you can do,
Hmm.
having a routine is really important too. I ran across a professional athlete a few months back. I won't say who they were, but
Hmm.
in their prime, I remember watching this guy on TV, and he had shoulders out of this world, and just,
Hmm.
just so, and I didn't even recognize him when I saw him in person
Right.
because he's since retired, maybe,
Hmm.
10, 20 years, and just
Ain't doing
razor
the same
thin.
workout. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Definitely.
I remember you once telling me about, unless I'm training, for as a professional, I'm not going to do certain things. I never forget when you told me that.
Hmm.
And so that particular athlete's requirement, to be successful in that field required him to be in the
Yeah.
gym and do those things. And since he retired, he didn't have to do it anymore. However, the body mass, the muscle mass started to go away. And I'm like, well, wow, it looks so frail. And I
Hmm.
just don't want that, and, whatever I can do to maintain some of that, and through diet, through
Sure.
calisthenics, through basic exercise, light weights, do whatever you can to just maintain.
Yeah. And I guess I want to always point out that just because you lose muscle mass, if you were a bigger guy, it doesn't mean you still can't be strong. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how big you are; it's about how much power can you generate. Can you
Yes.
move to this place to that place in the efficient time with the correct
Mhm.
balance, the correct agility, and with the correct mobility and stuff like that? To me, those are the keys to life. And it's like if you can capture that and still be in a slimmer frame, because sometimes just being huge is a detriment to you doing a certain activity because you only have so much amount of space. But if you could generate that much
Right.
power even in a smaller frame, I think it's wonderful, man. Because again, that's tough on the bones too. You know what I'm saying? As you get older, there's complications that can even come with that. So again, it's like if you're
For sure.
training, from my own standpoint, your power, your strength, your speed, your endurance, your flexibility, and your mobility, you're going to be your best self.
Absolutely. Good point.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, man. And speaking of mobility, why is mobility one of the most overlooked areas in men's health?
Wow. I think because strength has been the biggest thing, and but being able to move, doing basic things like climbing stairs, things like
Yeah,
bending down low to reach under, your car. What happens if you drop your keys under your car? Can you get down there? And so we definitely want to
yeah,
be, mobile and flexible and able to do some of our basic tasks. And
yeah.
so The mobility piece is most important, because without that, you won't be as functional and helpful, to your family. As you said earlier, we want to be able to be functional and helpful to our families as men. There are certain things that my wife or my daughters can't do around the house. Hey, Dad, can you pick this up? Sure, that's my job.
Of course. That's what I
Hey,
got
Dad,
to.
can I heard a knock downstairs, at 2 in the morning. So I want to be able to, get down there and address what I hear, dun, da,
Of
da,
course.
you know, and so you want to feel confident also in being able to move, because, I've got new clients that, again, it may be their first time at the gym, or they're coming off of an injury and they may have lost that confidence, in their ability to move. And so psychologically, we have to get past that
Hmm.
too.
That is a barrier, and I promise you, even with my injury, once you hurt something, your body remembers that, and it's like I don't want to feel that again. So I'm going to
Yeah.
guard myself to keep that pain from happening because I want
Yeah.
to keep us safe. And even as
Mhm.
you're trying to rehab and get back, there's a mental block sometimes you got to get around to say, "Hey, man, we can do this. We're going half speed. We're
Yeah.
going lighter. You know what I'm saying? But we're introducing
Mhm.
this back. You got this." And there's a mental hump you got to get over, unfortunately, man, and that's definitely reality.
So true.
Yeah, that's
I
definitely.
had struggle with my right shoulder at one time, where for maybe 3 months or so, I didn't have full mobility or strength in my right
Mm,
shoulder. And my daughter, who happens to be in the medical field, revealed to me, well, you sleep on your right side quite a bit, and the position that you sleep is
hmm.
compromising, the joints and the tendons and the muscles and so forth. And I couldn't do push-ups, and I'm like, oh, that broke my heart, because
Mm,
I love doing push-ups. I love my chest workout, and to
yeah.
not be able to do a full push-up, that was really hurtful to me. So I had to, kind of rehab and just slowly but surely get back into the mobility and the
Hmm.
flexibility and the strength. Had to gain that back.
Nice, man. Nice, and I'm glad you were able to battle back from that. That's pretty awesome, man. Another thing I'm learning also from this foot injury is that had I known certain things about mobility, let's say even in the foot, how it's supposed to move, I probably wouldn't have had the issues that I had that led up to me needing to get surgery.
Mm,
There is a bunch of mobility in your foot you're supposed to have between being
yeah.
able to spread your toes, curl your toes, lift up your toes, things like that that keep your arms strong and stuff that I was never taught that. And I've been an athlete for a very long time. I'm talking about over 3 decades of being
Yeah.
an athlete, and I mean a great athlete. I was
Mhm.
never taught this. That I believe had I been taught that, or even I did the research myself, I won't put that on somebody else. Had I known that, I would be in a better position now in my 40s, well, later 40s now, in better shape and not having to deal with the injury. But it's again a lack of mobility that caused this problem.
And I think it's a lack of information, as we move, through time, we're always seeking more and more information. There are things that we're doing now that we didn't have the information or the technology
Sure,
or the equipment to
sure.
address, say, 50 years ago. We're not the same
Hmm.
people. Ironically, though, 50 years ago, I think people were eating better. They weren't eating as much,
Yes,
fast food and things like that. So,
I agree.
as we evolved as a society, there are areas that we improve, and there's some areas that we devolve. But
Yeah,
I
I
think,
think we moved more back then too than we do now. Just there's so much done across computers and stuff like that that wasn't a thing back then. Just so you all are aware, in our lifetime, there was no internet at one point in time. So, I mean, even doing this was not even a thing. We had to get up to meet somebody and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
uh, we there's some detriments that come with technology and advancement. And I believe, like you were saying, we don't move as much because of that reason.
absolutely. When I was a kid, and I'm sure you can relate too, growing up in the 70s and then the 80s, at 4 o'clock after school, there were no less than 10 to 12 kids outside
Oh yeah.
riding bikes, throwing balls, jumping rope.
Mm-hmm.
And, and mom
Till
told
the
us, hey,
streetlights came on.
exactly. That's right. Came on. The balls dropped. It was like a ghost
Right.
town. And you came back in smelling like a puppy, and so we had to take a bath. But we
Oh yeah.
played and we were in shape.
Mhm.
Riding, jumping fences, climbing trees,
Yeah.
and so
All
our this
day.
current of young people, they're missing out on that because many times they're in a climate controlled room with a headset and a video game and Mountain Dew
Mhm.
and going
Locked
at it.
in.
Yeah.
I got you, man. I got you, man. Well, cool. Let's go on to the next question over here, man. Um, how often say on this? Well, excuse me. We often say on this podcast, a weak man has fewer options. Okay. How does physical strength create more freedom later in life?
Oh, that is very, very good. Things like going on vacation and carrying your own bags, things like being able to walk through the concourse at the airport without
Mm-hmm.
having to go on the little, the car, they're
Yeah.
beep, beep, and they're zooming through,
And you
whatever like
need
that.
it, not that it's a convenience.
Exactly. Being able
Yeah.
to be self-sufficient, is a
Mm-hmm.
big thing for me. And not being winded after you climb a few stairs. If you
Yeah.
happen to go on a tour, if I wanted to go to a city, and visit the various monuments and so forth, there's certain areas where you have to do a little bit of incline, and
Yeah.
so forth. So, but being strong, being healthy, having your health is certainly a gift, and we want to definitely take care of it just so we can function doing day-to-day tasks and so forth. So very, very important point.
I agree, man. I think even when it comes to serving in ministry, doing things for the church, doing
Mm.
things for the family, heck, playing with grandchildren. I swear I don't want to be that grandfather who I got to sit in my chair and everybody got to come around me to visit me or to say something to me because I can't get up and move like I want to. I swear I don't want to be that guy. So I was like, I don't want to be that burden on everybody else, let alone myself. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's one of the things for me personally that keeps me moving because I'm like, hey man, I can't be old Pawpaw. No, Pawpaw want to be able to show his grandchildren how to do a proper push up, and get it in like he's supposed to.
one of my fondest memories of my grandfather was he lived in Detroit, and we would drive hours from Gary, Indiana, to Detroit, Michigan. And this guy, at the time, I'm looking back, it's something about the back in the 70s and the 80s that the adults in our life seemed older, But he was a retired
Agreed.
man. I was maybe in his 50s or 60s, and I was a little kid. And he would drop down and he would do 10, 20 push-ups. And one
Mhm.
time he had me on his back,
Oh,
uh,
I love it,
doing
man. I
things
love
like,
it.
playing baseball and running, through the yard and things like that. And I
Mhm.
don't want to just be old and cute, put a suit
Yeah.
on him and just put him in the corner, No, I want to be old, cute, and fit.
Exactly. Respect.
By
Respect,
that
man.
time back. Yeah.
That's good, man. 'Cause I even remember going finally back in my memory. My grandfather taught me how to bowl, and he taught the entire family how to bowl. And I'm like, okay, that's. I want to make sure to have my ability to give my talents back to my grandchildren, like he did for me. And it's been a benefit since I've grown because of that, But he had to have the ability to do that, and
Mhm.
he taught other people how to bowl. Like he had a really big passion with bowling, so he worked at a bowling alley just teaching people how to do it. But he had the ability to do it even at an older age and was great at it, just made it look
Yeah.
easy.
Oh, for sure. And bowling is a great exercise, a great workout, and a great way for anybody to just one get out the house and
True.
two lift that ball that could be anywhere between 10 to 12 to 13 pounds, depending on what you use. And it's just a great way to stay active. Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed. All right, man, let's keep going with these questions, man. By the way, if you haven't done it yet, man, like the video, subscribe. You'll get great conversations like this, man. We're trying to give you game, try to make sure you're ready for all the things we're called to do as men, including fitness, as you can hear today, man. So get a part about this, man. Send this video out to some people that you love that need to hear this as well. Let's make this thing happen. All right. Next question. Men we're a lot of stress every day. Okay. How does exercise become one of God's greatest gifts for managing mental health?
That is a great question. When I go to the gym and I'm challenging myself by working out, a lot of times I'm not thinking about my issues at home or on the job and things like that. So it's a way of escape, and it's a way to regulate and kind of reset yourself, as it's now you against you, and can I push this weight today? So it's a great way, again, to just do what's called self-care. And that self-care isn't just exclusively getting a manicure and a pedicure and a massage, but putting yourself in a situation where you really have to focus on what you're doing, and your
Sure.
body's benefiting from that, as a result from that resistance training. So again, working out is a great way to just reset your mental processes so you can be better for your family.
I agree. I agree. I think there's also something cathartic with accomplishing something. You know what? I didn't get this thing done over here. I feel kind of bad about it, but I got into the gym today and I got a workout done. I accomplished that, and I can take that win back to the thing that I didn't do before with better confidence, and then take that win as well. I think we can build on those type of things, those little successes that come from being in the gym and coming from being and a regulated time frame of that. So then you're seeing the positive changes in your body as well. That overflows into other stressors that could be going on, and help you to deal with those things in a more effective way.
Absolutely. And, I don't know how healthy or unhealthy it is to say this, but I've had my best workouts when my mind was weighted down with things, when I had a lot on my mind, something upset me. I would almost use it as, I call it, tackling fuel, and
Hey,
I would go in and I would do like a progressive overload kind of workout, just to kind of test my limits. Okay. I did a set with this weight, let's add more weight and see what happens here, and things like that. And you finish that workout and you walk out and you go, man, I feel good. I feel accomplished. I actually, loaded more weight on today, and I'm
yeah,
stronger than I think, and
love it.
you're really proud of yourself.
I love it, man. And like I said, it's those personal goals being obtained can be just enough to be the catalyst to get you through that next situation you're dealing with, you know? So that's definitely good. Definitely good. So, next question. What's your advice to the man who is 45, 55, or even 65 and think he's too far gone?
I would say show up. Reach out to a trainer, reach out to a gym, and just go. You don't have to go and lift the house. Get there and get on the treadmill and put it on 1.5 miles an hour and just walk and look around
Yeah,
that gym, and you're going to see other people who are on their own journey too. A lot of judgment. People think that they're going to be judged if they're new at the gym, and just because they're not, all husky with muscles or whatever like that. So many people are on a different mission when they're there. They're so locked in on what they're trying to do. And many of us in the fit family, as I like to call, we're happy to see other people in that environment. So get
yes,
yourself into the environment where other people are working towards goals as well, and encourage each other, and you'll find somebody who's happy to see you there. I saw a gentleman at the gym, I think just today, as a matter of fact, and I gave him a compliment. He was an older gentleman. And I said, I see you, sir. You're looking good, and that just boosted him up, and his
made that
smile.
man's day.
And and he was like, I'm trying to get like you, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm chasing it. I've got things I'm going to
Right,
work on too. I appreciate that reciprocation, and there's like a camaraderie that comes. And
of
so
course.
go in there and just get the vibe of being in that setting, and you'll feel a lot better, and you'll want to go back. Wow, I'm around
Definitely.
people who are doing the same thing, and they're encouraging me, and I'm encouraging them. And before you know it, you're a regular, doing something good for yourself.
I agree, man. And I'll also say, from being part of the fitness community, um, we don't mind people asking us questions. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I like your arms over here. What did you do to get that? And when you have somebody who's actually interested in trying to figure out what to do better because they don't know and genuinely want to know, people sometimes start their whole workout and let me show you this over here. Or if
Yeah.
they see you doing something, say like you say you're becoming a regular, you're trying to be there on a daily basis, and they may see you struggling with a certain workout or a certain exercise, they may come over to you and be, hey, you know what? Can I show you another way to do that that'll be helpful or help you get where you're trying to get to? And they're doing it for the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? They like, hey, you part of us now. You're part of the fit family, man, and I want us all to win. You know?
Absolutely. I love, helping people. And I love it when people ask me, how do I work this part, this equipment here?
Yeah.
You see somebody, getting set up on a machine and you don't want them to hurt themselves. And so I'll stop everything I'm doing and I'll let them know and say, hey, my name is Jef. I'm a trainer. And I just want to just help you, get this set up right. Because what you don't want to do is this, and you can injure yourself, whatever.
Exactly.
So they're very receptive, and so you'll find, people who are willing to avail themselves to help you be successful and be safe when you're in the gym too. But
Yeah.
the number one thing is to just show up.
I agree. I agree, man. And I like that. Just showing up, man. It means so much. And there's so much power in just getting there and being consistent. All right, man.
Mhm.
So my last question I have for you, man. I want you to finish this sentence, okay? The strongest men I know, dot, dot,
Ooh.
dot. How would you finish that sentence?
The strongest men I know don't give up. The
Okay.
strongest men I know, will persevere. And the Bible tells us the race is not given to the swift or the strong, but the one who endures to the end. And quitting is easy. Quitting is always
Sure.
available. There's the exit door right there. You can always quit. But I tell you, as a strong man, again, it's not about the shoulders, the biceps. It's about the will. It's about the heart. And so a strong
Right.
man doesn't give up. I was walking with my wife out the store today, and she talked about how before leaving the house, she looked at our mantle over the fireplace and saw 5 diplomas. All 5 of our kids graduated high school,
Come on,
and
man. Flex now. Flex on
yeah,
them.
it is a flex.
Respect.
It's
I
like,
love it.
and
I love it.
it's about not giving up because life
Mhm.
isn't going to be perfect. Your situation is not going to be perfect. There was plenty of opportunities for either one of us to give up on ourselves, to give up on one another, to give up on our kids. But
Yeah.
we stayed in the game and through the thick and the thin. And so the most important thing for men to do is to not give up. So a strong man never gives up.
I love it, man. I love it, man. All right, so do something a little different over here, okay? We're gonna
Right?
go to the lightning round, and I want to just ask you some questions, and I want to get your quick responses on it, okay?
Yeah.
First thing come to mind. Don't put a lot of thought into it. First thing comes, pop it out, okay?
All right.
Morning workout or evening workout,
Morning.
okay? Cardio or strength training,
Strength.
okay? Squats or deadlifts,
Squats.
okay? Stretching or massage gun,
Stretching.
okay? Favorite healthy meal.
Oatmeal and orange juice.
Great combination. Okay. Most underrated exercise.
Deadlift.
Okay. Okay. I would agree with that. Biggest nutrition myth.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Oh my. That carbs are bad.
I like that one. I like that one. Okay. One supplement every man over 40 should ask his doctor about.
Mm, I would say protein powder.
Okay. Okay. Best piece of fitness advice you've ever received.
Um, Listen to your body.
Okay. It's a good one. What's one excuse you're tired of hearing?
Uh, I can't.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that. Okay, cool, cool. So, in closing, man, I want to give you an opportunity to again plug the business. Tell me how people can find you, where they can find you online, any other things you have coming up. Because again, you have a lot of talents. You're into music, you're into movies, you're doing fitness. The man plays the banjo. I'm just saying, he does a lot, fellas. What can you tell us you got going on today? Platform is yours.
All right. Well, again, I'm Jef Payne, and I'm the founder of Get in Motion Fitness LLC. And I want to invite you to get in motion. I want to invite you to reach out to me. I'm the easiest person in the world to find. I'm on Facebook, and you can find me under Jeffrey Clark Payne. And I spell my name Jefri. Again, that's Jefri. Very different spelling. And you can Facebook me, inbox me. You can find me on Instagram under Jef Payne Music, Fitness, and Film. And I post there as well, so you can DM me there as well. And I want to be a part of your fitness journey. I want to find out where you are. I specialize in working with matured clients in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And whether you have never been in the gym before, or you haven't been in the gym for a long time, or you're coming off of an injury or surgery, or you're just in need of improving your health and wellness, I want you to reach out to me, and I can meet you wherever you are. We can meet virtually. I can meet you at your local gym. I can meet you, anywhere outside. It doesn't matter, but I want to get you in motion.
I love it, man. I love it, man. Well, look, I appreciate you, man. We're going to have all his links in the bio below. So if you want to get in touch with Jef Payne, the man's good. The man's knowledgeable. We're going to be doing some things also in the future as well together, man. Because again, I want to make sure you utilize you, man. Make sure you're seen on this platform as well as pushing your platform as well, man. Because I think giving our watching audience good content, good information, that's what we do here, man. Fitness is not just about look. It's about your ability to move through this life and do all you're supposed to do. And we're called to do a lot as men. And I thank you for being able to lend your expertise in this to help us be better today. All right. So
Thank you for
again,
having me. It's an honor.
oh, of course, man. Like I said, you're a friend of the podcast, man. I've known this man for a very long time, and trust me, man, he's been a solid dude the entire time. So if I'm gonna be promoting him, trust me, man, I'm gonna put my name on everybody. He's got you, okay? So again, if you're looking for that type of information, the man is trained. He's got the credentials. Talk to him; he'll get you right. All right. All right. Any final things before we get up out of here, man?
Again, just thanks for the opportunity. And my clients that see me on a consistent basis are getting the results. I'm transforming
Mm.
bodies and transforming lives in the process. And I'm a different trainer for different people. So if you
Mm-hmm.
need a motivator, I can be that person. If you need someone to provide structure, I can be that person. If you need a listening ear during the workout, I can do that too. If you like to joke and laugh during the workout to take your mind off the pain, I do that. So I want to be here and essentially just get you moving, get you in motion, and help you to be a better you all around. So again, I want you to look good, feel good, live long, and be strong.
Love it, man. And we're going to end it with that, man. Great slogan, great company, great guy. This is what we do, man. This is Disciple Man Podcast. Again, my name is Antonio. We want you to be better men out here. We're going to be bringing a lot of different type of content, not just biblical, because that's needed, but that is an aspect of life. We got to deal with other things. We're talking about fitness today because I don't care how much Bible you know. If you are sick in your body, you cannot be the man God called you to be or what he called you to do for the kingdom if your body is weak, if your body is sick. So again, we're trying to make sure you're well rounded on information in the entirety of what we're called to do as men. This today is fitness and health. We got a lot more conversation coming, different topics. Make sure you stay tuned for it, all right? So again, my name is Antonio. That's Jef Payne. We'll catch you in the next one. Y'all have a good one. Peace. Thank you again for joining us on Disciple Man Podcast. We hope that you got something out of the conversation, that we brought some value to you. We're trying to do something over here, and we need your help to do that. If you could, please like and subscribe, share the video with a couple friends. We want to make sure to get this word out, help us men to step up to the road we're trying to do for the family, for God, for the community. We need your support. Look forward to you in the next one.